Help parents by having a pediatrician come in studio to answer your questions on Facebook about health issues that affect your kids. Dr. Karen Wheeler is with IU Health Physicians. Dr. Wheeler, good enough to have you back in studio today.
Thank you.
We had a lot of questions this week on Facebook about croup. What is croup and how does it differ from a common cold?
You know, croup is a viral illness, as is the common cold, but the main characteristic is an inspiratory, barky, stridorous sound that comes from up in the upper airway. It can be really frightening in the middle of the night to
I'll
parents.
bet it can. And our Facebook friends had a lot of good questions today. In fact, Shauna Clark posted this question. My daughter is almost 8 and was diagnosed with croup. I thought it was more common with 2 to 5-year-olds. Is croup contagious?
Yeah, and croup is a contagious illness like common colds and other illnesses. She's absolutely right. Think of it, if the smaller airway in a smaller child is going to be more symptomatic with swelling. So you take an 8-year-old would have a bigger airway and with the same amount of swelling would normally not look as sick. Now, this year, I will say, I have seen 5, 6, 7, 8-year-olds with much more symptomatic croup than usual.
Interesting. Sharon Kaufman says, my daughter was diagnosed with croup at 6 months of age, and now it seems to be called asthma. She's apparently got 1 to 2 asthma issues every year, and she wants to know if croup always turns into asthma, and how are they related?
Well, there is a common theme of cough with both illnesses. The croup, the cough is coming from up here. The asthma is coming from down lower in the chest. So when you hear of recurrent cough, that often leads to the diagnosis of asthma. But they're really separate entities, and the croup does not become asthma. Think of croup as infection.
What does that croup cough sound like?
The croup cough, they'll be the one they describe as barky, hoarseness to the voice is kind of one of the mainstays of diagnosis.
And how is it treated?
Well, the first thing is symptomatic care. That means if you're in an upright position, the swelling goes down. So that's when they say, get the child up out of bed, elevate the head. Also, humidity helps because there are secretions over this swelling, and the humidity helps to thin those out. So that's when you hear steam up the bathroom,
humidifiers,
coolness vaporizer, right in the cool night air. And I think the main thing about that is they're in an upright position. And say it's really scary and you're heading to the emergency room. The classical story is by the time you hit the emergency room door, the kid looks great because they've been sitting upright in their car seat all the way there.
And there's medication, though, to help?
Yeah. Now, the medication is steroids. And we mean like steroids like are used for poison ivy, used for asthma attacks, and used for the inflammation for the croup. Usually done for 3, maybe 4 days, but not something to be feared if you need it, because that's what's going to keep a little baby who's very symptomatic out of the emergency room and out of the hospital.
Dr. Wheeler, again, thanks for your time helping us understand a little bit more about croup. If you have a question for our pediatricians, be sure to post them on our Facebook, and be sure to watch every Tuesday for the answer to your questions. Coming up next.